Now, how about our cosplay pass? Tim, I want to start with you because you've cosplayed like once.
Just once, yeah.
Yeah, so how was your experience making that Louis costume?
It was easy. It was a pretty simple costume.
Yeah, he has just like basic clothes and a cape, right?
Yeah, and like the wig.
Oh
The
yeah,
wig
the
was the
wig.
only thing I had to buy pretty much. Well, I mean, I had to buy like some of the clothes, but that was cheap, right?
Hmm.
And, like I bought a little bit of fabric for the cape, but it was really easy. The
Did you have
wig
to
was
did you have to
a
do
little
any
expensive.
particular sewing or anything?
I did sew some detail onto the one shirt because it's like a green shirt that has like a. It almost looks like he has another blue shirt underneath, but I just sewed some blue trim around it to make it look the same.
Yeah, because
But
you don't want to wear two shirts. It's hot.
no, yeah, it's way too hot.
That's actually when I was making the Beelzemon costume. I was happy to see that the weather was calling for overcast and a little bit of rain. And I was like, oh, it's going to be nice and cool. I'll just bring my umbrella. It wasn't. It was very hot the whole time. And I was cooking myself in that leather jacket all bloody weekend.
Yeah,
Comfort is something you need to consider when making
Oh,
a
yeah.
cosplay. Sometimes you need to sacrifice for it. So, Jamie, you've made it, I think, the most, or at least the best costumes. So, you got any tips or any particular costumes you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, a lot of my ones are just kind of. It's always been stuff that I really like, so I pick like my favorite character from a game or a series or something, and I just go with that. And it's just sort of every year when I'm there, though, I'm like, next year, shorts and a t-shirt. Picking
Yeah.
someone with a shorts and t-shirt, and I've never done a character with just shorts and t-shirt, except when I went to Con Bravo last year when I did Professor Birch,
Yeah.
which was shorts, sandals, and a lab coat, which was awesome.
Yeah, you wanna dress up as something mostly naked because it's so fucking hot.
But
Like,
there are very few mostly naked characters that flatter someone with my body type,
yeah,
and
which is to
pale.
say there are none. So
yeah, anime and video games do set some pretty unrealistic standards for both men and women.
there's a part where it's like, when it comes to tips, it's like do something that you really like so that you're able to, portray them as a character, have some cool poses in mind.
Hmm.
Because there's nothing worse than you see someone with a cool costume and they just don't have a pose. They're standing there with like their arms tucked in.
Yeah,
It's like, do a pose, do something cool,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And part of that is the photographer too. You have to kind of get them when you're talking to them. Make sure they're looking at you. Suggest a pose, and they'll probably do it. Because that makes your pictures turn out a lot better too.
yeah. Adds more character and personality to it instead of
Yeah.
just this is a profile of a costume. So what are all the characters you've cosplayed as, Jamie?
All right, I've done my first year to Anime North was Barry Burton from Resident Evil, and I did that again for Halloween last year, just at school. I've done Sid Highwind twice at Anime North. I did Professor Birch at Con Bravo last year, and I did Frank West this year. And also one year I did, back when I was still watching My Little Pony, I did Big Mac from there, which I was told this year, had I done that, it would have been really popular with the pony shoot because they didn't have any.
Hmm.
But I had my one friend there that I was talking to Saturday night, and she's like, "Yeah, we didn't have any Big Macs. If you had done that, you would have been really popular." I'm like, "Ah, damn, should have done it." But I haven't watched that show in 3 years.
Dang, could have been really popular with the pony community.
There's
You missed out.
a lot of cute girls in the pony community.
This is true. I won't deny this, but I will deny anything else nice you'd have to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess as for myself, and a lot of these aren't super great. I usually half-ass my costumes because I'm not a crafty person. I'm lazy and I don't like doing things. But
Hmm.
the first time I ever went to Anime North, I didn't cosplay because I didn't know anything about Anime North. I wasn't sure how many people were cosplaying, and I didn't want to stand out too much.
Yeah.
That's when I learned that the majority of people do. So after that, I tried to cosplay every year. After that was that was a year that you guys didn't go, that I had gone with some other friends, and I cosplayed as Kaze from Final Fantasy Unlimited. After that, I think there was an Angemon, which I guess was
Yep.
okay. That costume, I didn't really like it because it was really hard to put together and really difficult. And
It was really well done. It was
uh,
just
I think it
difficult to
could
get
have been
around with.
Yeah, it could have been better, but I guess it was all right. And then after that, I believe. Oh, I did a really half-assed Fist of the North Star
Yeah.
Kenshiro. I just
Yeah.
threw that together because like I watched the entire like everything to do with Fist of the North Star in 1 year, and that's a lot. The series is like 140 episodes. There's like 6 full-length animated movies, another full-length abridged movie, which is kind of garbage, a live-action movie, and 3 OVAs. and I also played the Dynasty Warriors clone. That was about 40 hours long. So if we were doing this podcast that year, I'd have to say recently I watched Fist of the North Star, and that's all.
Yeah.
Because there's simply no time for anything else. So I just did a quick Kenshiro. Because I was like, I haven't watched anything else. This is all I know. And after that, I did a Testament, which I'm really proud of that one. I think the Testament costume turned out really well.
What was that from?
Guilty Gear.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that was comfy because there was a lot of exposed skin, so it was cool. It was breezy.
You had a lot of weird sunburns that year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of shaving everything. That was uncomfortable. Like I can see why girls complain about such things. Like wearing pants for the next couple of days afterwards. It's like you're made of Velcro. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then Vampire Hunter D was the year following that. That was a really
Nice.
easy one. Not a lot of people recognize me. Which is unfortunate because that's a great animated movie. Bloodlust is a great animated movie, not the other one.
Yeah, you should mention that.
But
the first one is garbage.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's garbage. I would just say it's not
pretty
good.
bad.
Yeah, it's not
not
great.
good.
The books are incredible though. All the books, they get a little repetitive after a while because it's mostly the same thing, but they're all really enjoyable. The characters are crazy. Their special abilities are fascinating. But yeah, watch that animated movie. It's good. Only a few people really recognized me that year. Same with Testament, because like I said, I always pick not very popular things. And I was being Testament from Guilty Gear when Blaze Blue had took its place, so no one really remembered Testament.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're on to Beelzemon, and that received the most love. A lot of people were like, hey, are you a Digimon? I was like, yeah, it's Beelzemon. Other people were just like, hey, that's my favorite Digimon. And I was handing out the cards, which made everyone really happy. And it was
a really well-made costume, too. I mean, most of yours have been really good, too. Or for what you're trying to do, anyway.
Yeah.
Like, your D was good, your Testament was really good. But this one was probably your best one so far.
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty easy, too. It was just, well, most of the stuff was, like, he's just a biker. You can easily buy a biker kind of attire. It was just like I had to... Actually, I'm not really going to talk about how I made it. There's a video for that. You can go ahead and click this annotation to go watch that video, but...
Or this one.
Oh my god. We're doing this again. Yeah, it was just a lot of detail and a bit of sewing, like when I put the virus symbols on, but yeah, I'm glad how it turned. I think the helmet could have been better. But maybe I'm thinking of redoing it for next year, just with a better helmet. Maybe like better quality fabrics stitched into the jacket and whatnot, but I don't know.
Well, if you need your other one as a reference, it's still sitting in our kitchen right now.
Yeah, I left it in the car. Yeah, I'll probably use it as a reference.
Your
Maybe just use it as like a frame and just cover it in paper mache, smooth it out better, because it's clearly 3 sections taped together.
Yeah.
That was really the hardest part, so I mean, you gotta forgive me a little bit here.
Yeah, if you get some paper mache or some Wonderflex or something, you could make that really good.
Yeah, I could make it look a lot smoother and nicer.
And then just painted it properly.
Yeah, I guess the main tips for cosplay is just try to make it comfortable. And washable. Because, like, my Anjumon costume, it stunk after, like, the second day. So I was, like, really hesitant to wear it. And I couldn't really wash it because it had, like, stuff glued to it that would come off. And it was a pain. And the wings were attached. And I couldn't wash the wings. But, like, with the Beelzemon costume, it was all really washable. I didn't wash the jacket. But that's because, like, jackets aren't usually washed. And it smelled fine anyways.
Yeah. As long as you can, like... It helps as well if you can get, like, as warm as it is, it helps if you can get stuff that you just wear underneath.
Yeah, undershirts too.
So I always have, like, just a plain simple white t-shirt on, regardless if it has a t-shirt already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just helps a lot.
Yeah, because if you want to wear one costume all weekend, which a lot of people do bring one for each day, which is cool.
Yeah.
But if you really want to commit and wear the same one each weekend, bring an undershirt to soak up all that sweat so your costume doesn't stink and you can continue to wear it.
Just swap out the shirts.
Yeah, like if you can get a couple different undershirts, and that's cool.
Yep.
And undershirts generally aren't super detailed, so you don't really have to be putting a lot of work. Like I made a spare tail because I wasn't sure how well mine would hold up, and it held up just fine.
Yeah.
But it's good to have spares and stuff, and bring safety pins and tape because you'll need those.
Even if not for the costume, you'll need them for something else. Like taping a sign to the door.
Something will come up where you will need those things. And if you bring sleeping tablets, secure them so that the moisture from the bathroom doesn't ruin them, and you get like 5 hours between the 3 nights that you're there. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really messes with your head.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, you get a little slow, you get a little dumb. Because you're fucking exhausted the whole bloody time.
A lot of dumb.
A lot of dumb. Yeah, I guess, alright, so now just general highlights. What are some of the really great things that you saw this year that you want to mention? Alright, while Tim's thinking hard over there, I'm going to mention, again, the Kaine cosplay, because I'm really happy to be reminded of Nier. She was really nice, answered my question about Drakengard 3, which was important to me. The wrestling was incredible.
Right, the wrestling. That was good.
When the Namanoichi line situation was turning into the 9/11 of line situations, we decided to go, just hang out at wrestling, kill some time there. And what an incredible show that was this year.
That was good, yeah.
They were it was like a, no disqualification round or something?
Yeah.
And they fell out of the ring, they were hitting each other with chairs and poles from the dividers, everything was getting wrecked, people had to leave their seats, banging stuff off tables and whatnot. That was a really great show. That was really cool. I hadn't seen it ever get that out of hand before.
Yeah, I think it's new people. Actually, I went to the Superfan Comic-Con the weekend before, and it was some of the same wrestlers. So I think they do all the shows in the area.
Yeah.
They travel around, do a different show every week.
They have people specifically skilled to perform wrestling in the area.
Yeah, and I did recognize some of the people from the convention the weekend previous.
Yeah.
They were really good in that one too. There was not as many people at the convention, so you could actually hear the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of gets the crowd into it, and that's kind of a big downfall.
Yeah. The performance is the most important part.
Yeah.
Of course you got to choreograph the cool moves, but you're performing, right? You
got to get them worked up, and you can't really do that at Anime North because it's so loud already.
Yeah, you can't really hear if they're trying to yell to the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. So, they kind of did better at the other convention, but they did a good job at this one. I thought it was really well done, and especially that Black Ranger versus the Big Bear. That was a great match.
I have some footage of that, so I hope you're looking at your screen right now.
I'm sure it's up on YouTube too, somewhere else.
So someone else has to record it. If I can find a better view, then I'll link you to them instead.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that was really, because we've just stood around and watched the wrestling before, and it's just they're doing cool moves, they're tagging in, they're a little dramatic, but this was just wild. It's definitely got way better. Or we just missed all the incredible shows last time, but it's in an area with a lot of
their game.
Yeah, it's in an area where we're usually passing through a lot because it's right by the dealers and all the buying stuff. So you do glance at it a lot, and I haven't seen it got that crazy before. Other highlights for me was seeing all the other Digimon at the Digimon photo shoot. We had some incredible Anjuwamon and Lady Devimons there. Some people from Season 4, Agunimon and Burning Greymon were really good costumes. All the people there. There's only one other person from Season 3, the girl in the Guilmon thing. That was cool. The Digimon panel is actually, I had complained before that every year it's just, everyone agrees 1 and 2 is the best. Leomon is the red shirt. That's a funny joke. But this year was actually, there was a lot more discussion on interesting things, and not just the same topics over and over again. There's mention of, we talked about the games that were unfortunately not brought over to North American, and how likely it is that they ever will be, and just stuff like that, instead of just the same boring topics. It was a bit new. Cross Wars was talked about, and Cross Wars hasn't been talked about despite it being at least in Japanese for a couple of years. So it was nice actually talking about new Digimon things, even if not a lot of people care. I really liked Cross Wars. I thought it was cool. They try to do a different thing with each season. They don't just follow the same characters and the same stuff. It's always different, and I don't know. I liked the new take with 6, where they all just fuse together into some kind of big Megazord thing. Yeah, I thought it's silly, but who cares about Digimon anymore? So let's just be silly, Oh, another highlight actually. I met 3 of the 4 best friends Zaibatsu. Matt, Liam, and Wooly. That was really cool. It was brief, but I was really happy to do it because I love their videos. I've been watching Best Friends play for ages. It was actually, I think I was just with John, and we were crossing on the bridge, and I stopped. I'm like, hey, I don't want to be an annoying fan and like stop you guys when you're going, but I just want you to have these cards. And I want to tell you that I love your videos and you guys are great. And then I was like, I love you guys, and then just left. And Liam was like, well, enjoy the rest of your con, and I like you too. And that was really nice. I was really happy to do that.
It'd be really funny if they weren't getting stopped by anyone else and they were like really looking for a conversation.
they really wanted attention.
You,
and I was
yeah,
just like, hey, I don't want to annoy you guys, but they're like,
you blew them off. You
No.
son of a.
I listened to their one podcast that was after Anime North. They had a big Q&A, and there were people stopping them, but they didn't seem too annoyed. There wasn't enough to annoy them, but you know, I'm a polite guy.
I don't know what my highlights would have been really, because there's just a lot of stuff going on. I still haven't really quite processed everything that happened.
Yeah.
But one highlight for me has to be that grilled cheese truck when we finally went there and ate at the one because we had that Sunday.
Gorilla cheese.
Gorilla cheese. It was this, they had a lot more food trucks in general, which was awesome because it's normally just like ice cream. Now they did have ice cream trucks, and one parked on the fucking overpass.
Oh yeah, there was one parked on the bridge that a
lot of people were complaining about that one because it was in a bad spot.
It half the size of the sidewalk, and people were standing around eating their ice cream right in front of it. Like, no, get your shit and move. It's fucking crowded on the bridge here.
Ooh,
but
rich.
The gorilla cheese was like, you get this awesome, delicious sandwich, and you eat half of it, and you're like, that was really filling. I enjoyed that, and then the best part was you had another half of the sandwich to go.
It was great. That was a big ass grilled cheese.
Yeah, it wasn't like a Kraft slice in between some bread either. It was
this was like as good as you could. You can't make a grilled cheese better than the way they made it.
Yeah.
Mine
could have been a bit more spicier because I did get the jalapeno one, and it wasn't quite there. But I do also have a very big tolerance for spicy stuff, so maybe it's just me. But it was still really good.
We did visit the 401 diner again.
The food
and the service was just as incredible as it was last time.
Oh, food is excellent.
Yeah.
401 diner, top notch. It's a place to go to get food when you're Anime North or in Toronto for any reason.
Yeah.
Or about Sunday.
Even if you're not hungry, just go there and eat anyways because it's really good.
So good. Classic diner food.
Yeah. Good stuff.
That's one of the highlights for sure.
Yeah. 401 diner is always the highlight. What are the other places we ate? Me and Tim had Perkins on the way there when we went for pre-register, and then we had Boston Pizza that night.
We had Boston Pizza.
Where else did we eat? All those two were pretty good.
We stopped at Square One, and we had lunch there on Friday afternoon.
Oh yeah, that was just like
Friday.
That was just food court food.
Friday dinner we went to St. Louis, which at start was like, it seemed kind of bad because it was like John was getting more upset than anyone else because we were really hungry, but it was like they didn't have staff on, and once they started getting more and more staff involved, and it was really busy in there too.
Yeah, they didn't have enough people for all the customers that were coming.
Once we got our food, we're like, this was worth the wait because it was actually delicious. It was no Arizona's. The food was very much worth the wait there.
It was edible, and the service was good, unlike Arizona's, where they feed you plastic and tell you to stop complaining about your plastic.
And then Friday night we ordered pizza, or not Friday, Saturday night we ordered pizza.
Right.
We got some pizza, and that was actually like the first place we tried to order from. We got a lot of trouble with, and we're just like, we'll order from an actual pizza.
Yeah, because we
place.
tried to order online, and it's like, cannot deliver this address. Like, oh, maybe we should call in and ask. And then Tim was on the phone with someone with an accent that was too heavy to be understood, and we're just like, Tim, just cancel. If you can't understand them, this is taking forever. We're hungry. We'll just get another pizza place in half the time.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And then once the pizza arrived, we realized we didn't have plates or anything, but we made it.
we cut the box into pieces and used that as plates.
Yeah,
that worked.
Yep.
Yeah, some real MacGyver shit right there.
Yeah,
some good stuff.
Got the deluxe room. We would have had plates. Would have had a dishwasher too.
We wouldn't have had a bed.
No, we
would
have had
one less bed.
And we made use of those beds this year.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another highlight. That was one of my other highlights when I woke up Saturday morning. I looked over and Dereck is sprawled over on the bed one way, and John was on the bed across the way with his arms closed, with this like angry look on his face, but completely asleep, just scowling at Dereck as he slept.
Well, John just neutrally has an angry look.
Yeah, but it was the arms crossed.
Yeah, he was crossing there like he was really disappointed with me in his sleep. So speaking of using the phone and sleeping, on Thursday night when me and Tim were staying in a hotel, we got in from Palladium and eating at like midnight, and someone called our hotel room. And I was like, should I answer that? Why is someone calling? Tim's like, yeah, answer. I'm like, all right. and it's some crazy old lady. She's talking about like, you guys gotta stop calling this number all night. And I was like, whoa, 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 slow down, slow down. No one's been calling. This is a hotel room. How'd you even get this number? She's like, oh, someone's been calling. I'm like, well, it's not me, so bye. And then I hung up and went to have a shower. And I guess, Tim, you got a call right after that too, right?
Yeah, pretty much immediately after. Different person though. It was like some dude, and I picked up the phone. I was like, "Hello," and he's like, "Hello," and I was like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "No, can I help you?" And I was like, "You called me." He's like, "No, you called me." I'm like, "I think I would know if I picked up the phone and dialed the number or not." And he just started getting angry, and he's like, "You gotta." And he said we were calling the front desk. He said it was the front desk.
Yeah,
I don't know.
people were claiming that we were calling people.
Yeah,
We
and
had just walked in the door.
yeah, and I was like, "Well, I didn't call you. You just called me." And then he started asking me my name and stuff, so I just hung up.
Oh
on
yeah,
him.
the old lady asked what my name was too. She's
I
like,
was
well,
like,
what's your name?
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna tell you my
Yeah.
name.
I was like, "Get lost." So I hung up, and then I unplugged the phone, like
Yeah.
I pulled the phone cable out of the jack just so that it wouldn't ring again.
Yeah, that
Fuck
was
those people.
because I remember after I got off the phone with that lady, we could hear the phone in the next room ringing.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my god, what's going on here? So what had happened was after I got out of the shower, Tim was already in bed, and
Conked out.
and it occurred to me, you know, people were making calls in this room just before we got here. So I convinced myself that there was a murderer in the room. And
Yeah.
so I checked the closet next to me, and I was like, all right, there's no one in the closet. That's it. So there's no murderer. Halfway through the night, it occurred to me that the murderer was under the bed. But I was too scared to check because it was dark, and I was like, if I peek down, he's just going to slash my throat, and that's it for
Oh
me.
yeah, he's gonna
He's gonna be ready. His eyes are just in the dark. He's gonna get me. And and I had remembered that I mentioned to you, Tim, while we were in the room that I sleep with earplugs. And I was like, the murderer must have heard me say that, so he's gonna go for Tim first because he knows I won't hear it. So every time, like every couple minutes or whenever like the bed would squeak from one of us moving, I had to sit up and check on you and look around the room for the murderer.
to make sure I wasn't murdered.
Yeah, to make sure you weren't murdered.
Yeah,
And I'm such a fucking idiot.
yeah, he had a great
That I
sleep.
convinced myself. My imagination's too active. I convinced myself there's a murderer in the room. Then the next morning, it turns out that you can't get under the beds. It's like it's
Yep.
just wood straight down. So I was like, wow, I was up all night worrying about murders like a fucking idiot.
For nothing.
Yeah, too much horror movies. It does that to you. Yeah, that's the story of the prank call killer that I managed to thwart by staying up all night and checking on Tim. Also, Tim kind of fought him off too because Tim sleeps really wily.
Yeah.
You're flailing all over the
I
place. If
flailed
there's a
around
murder,
a
he'd
lot.
be like, "This guy's up all night. He won't stop moving." And what the hell is he? Why is he sleeping like that? Because I
Just-
remember in the night when I looked over to check on you, I thought you had left the bed and went to the bathroom because I was like going in and out of sleep, and I was like, "Oh, maybe he's in the bathroom right now." But it just looked like you weren't in bed because you were laying across it vertically.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
It was really strange. What a strange night.
It was an uncomfortable bed though, so I was like flailing around because I was trying to find a good spot. Those beds were not good,
Mine was alright, but I sleep in a hard bed, so.
and it was
Kinda
not
used
as
to it.
good as the ones we had at the Sandman.
Oh yeah,
Those
Those
Sandman
are
beds
really
are
comfortable.
excellent.
yeah.
You just you
Sandman's
get
a
in, you
high-quality
just
hotel.
sink into it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sandman's a good hotel. Was it
Yeah.
we were at the Sandman last year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that the place where we had the water incident, or was that
No,
when we were?
that was Sheridan.
that was the
That
Sheridan.
was the Sheridan, yeah.
I mean, that was
2
2
years
years
ago.
before. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've never had any trouble with the Sandman, other than that time when they talked
They
to you into
accidentally
upgrading. Yeah.
upgraded us to a downgrade.
They talked you into upgrading the room, and that room had less beds
Less
than we
beds,
needed, and like a microwave, oven, laundry
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, we don't need this. We need a bed.
What's funnier is that the two things that we would have actually used, the microwave and the fridge, the
We already
regular
had.
room had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're con artists there. They scammed me.
Fucking, they tricked you.
They scammed me.
I wouldn't have minded having laundry stuff because I wanted to wash most of my cosplay, but We found out that if you just like kind of soak your stuff in water and leave it on the balcony, that usually that freshens it up pretty good.
Hmm.
So that was all right. I guess that's kind of it. Is there anything else any of you guys want to mention or talk about? I think
That
we
wraps
just
it
Not
up
really.
pretty
Just
pretty much covered our entire Anime North experience,
Yeah.
2014.
for next year, or some year,
Right,
anyway, I'd
right,
like to
what-
try some other hotels like the Radisson or the Crown or something. Someone, maybe, I mean, the Sandman's in a good location, but they don't have like deals or anything.
No.
So maybe something even just a little bit closer. Like Radisson is basically right on the grounds. It's like a 10-foot walk away.
It's in the parking lot, pretty much.
Yeah. So that'd be awesome. Something on that side. Even the hotel, the Holiday Inn with the Perkins would be cool too. Because then you can
Yeah.
go down for Perkins at 3 a.m. when they're open.
Yeah,
That's true. They are open 24 hours, aren't they?
Yeah.
well, that'd be a good way to beat a crowd.
Yeah.
Man.
Go at a
Get
ridiculously
breakfast,
early
yeah.
time.
Like 4 in the morning.
I heard that the International Plaza Hotel, which from
Yeah.
now on I'll
It's the
just
Doubletree.
refer to as the DoubleTree, because that's what it used to
Yeah.
be called. I heard that's booked already.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's
And it's
completely
one I
booked.
wouldn't even want to stay in. It seems it's too busy. Getting
Yeah.
checked out of that in the morning when
Yeah.
other
Like it'd be convenient because you're right there. You're like a
Yeah.
floor away from the stuff. But yeah, checking in and checking out would be a pain in the ass because, like I said, it's already booked. It's full already. Everyone's gonna
the
be
rooms
in there.
aren't that good either.
No, I haven't seen the rooms. Your
my
sister
sister was in
had a
the-
room there once, right?
A couple of years ago, yeah.
She didn't give it a sparkling review.
Nah. Well, she was also with a lot of people, so that might have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we
Huh.
were at Sheridan, we had a lot of people with us, so it was
Yeah.
good.
That one time, I think it was Chris's first time going. We had to split into 2 different hotels because we weren't sure how many people we'd have, and
Yeah.
things got a little last minute. So it sucks having it in different hotels. It's harder
Oh.
to meet up.
Oh, that was the Residence year. That was a good year actually, because I like the
Yeah.
Residence. That place the Residence had a free breakfast, which was the ideal thing.
Oh,
not
yeah.
a lot of the hotels do, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, our Thursday hotel had free breakfast too. It was pretty good breakfast.
Yeah, it was a good brekkie.
It's just weird sitting in a room full of people that all thought we were prank calling them.
Yeah.
I was like, do you think they know it's us?
I wonder which one of them what it was. Had to have been one of them.
Yeah, or it could have been none of them.
Could have been a murderer.
It could have just been the murder. We were sitting in a room eating breakfast with a murderer and we didn't even know it.
Yep.
How spooky is that?
Statistically, you're always kind of doing that whenever you go out to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been in the same vicinity as a murderer or potential murderer at some point in your life.
Well, I think everyone is technically a potential murderer, myself included.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
potential.
deny.
Okay, not potential. A future murderer. then.
I've worked in retail long enough to consider myself a potential murderer.
Yeah.
Like if
bound to happen.
someone like tried to rob the store, I would just attack them and probably kill them because it'd be an opportunity to beat someone to death and look like a hero for it.
Yeah.
Not gonna deny that. I'd happily punch. I'd just convince myself they were a customer and be like, "This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the customer to end all customers."
But if
Say
you
what now?
failed, then it'd be like died on behalf of Wendy's. LOL. It'd
Yeah.
be your obituary.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
better be an
I'd laugh at you for the rest of my life.
I'd,
I'd die. 'Cause
I'd laugh at myself
laugh, and
for
then I
the
would
rest of
die
my
of starvation.
afterlife. So what are you guys looking forward to next year? Are you gonna do anything differently? Are you guys gonna come make a doll with me?
It's gonna be
Good.
pretty similar, I think.
Yeah.
I want to do more.
I'm gonna have a
things.
better costume next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be an
That's fine.
improved Beelzemon, and I'm gonna make a Genocyber doll for myself.
Nice.
Genocide.
There's stuff coming up before that. Like I might see if I can go to Con Bravo this year, even just for like a day or two. Maybe see if I can stay with John.
All right, isn't
Because
there's
that's-
Niagara
and
Falls Comic Con that's
uh,
like what
that's
a week
next
away?
weekend, but that's way
Yeah.
too close to anime, and it's expensive. It's way too close to Anime North, and I think it's $60 for a weekend pass or $25 a day,
Really?
and it's super crowded, and it's all comic book stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
eh.
I always have Fridays off. I'd go on the Friday if someone else was, but I'm not like I'm not trying to attend it. Because
Yeah.
like you said, it's too soon after Anime North. You can't just go convention to convention. That shit's tiring, man.
Yeah.
It's hardly a vacation.
Like if it's your job, or if you're like a photographer or something, that's awesome.
Yeah.
'cause then you get stuff to do like weeks and weeks in a row. But
Yeah, but if you're
as just a person that's
yeah,
like,
if you're just
I
an
don't wanna
attendee,
go.
it gets too exhausting.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna spend in that weekend. I think that's what next weekend. So I think we've got because there's another friend of mine whose birthday's around the same time. So I think we're doing something either that weekend or the weekend after, trying to have a get together, and then right after that is E3, so gonna be getting pumped for E3.
Oh yeah, pumped for them announcements.
Oh yeah,
On
I sit there and all day Monday I'll watch all the announcements, and then all day Tuesday is the Nintendo stuff, and that happens to be my birthday this year, so it's like a birthday present from Nintendo.
Happy birthday announcements.
Exactly.
Happy birthday, new Mario, new Zelda. You didn't see that coming.
Oh, I don't care. There's gonna be announcements about.
Jamie's gonna close his eyes so he doesn't see it coming.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be like stuff about Smash Bros. And I can't wait for that to come out. And there's stuff about new Zelda. I just love watching all that stuff. Even the terrible stuff I love watching.
Yeah.
I'll sit there with Rob on Skype and we'll just make fun of
EA
and Ubisoft and stuff because their conferences are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's about it. Looking forward to next Anime North. Gonna make a doll, do some other things maybe, take more pictures.
Make a doll.
And be a better Beelzemon.
Yeah.
Maybe invest in a better camera before then.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a camera.
Nah. And Tim's gonna be the best galleon.
The best galleon ever.
That ever was.
That'd be awesome. You should definitely do the galleon.
Alright, well thank you, Jamie and Tim, for doing this podcast with me. It'll be up eventually. And check out my Anime North costume video and the Anime North Facebook page for all the cool albums and stuff.
But I already did.
Well, I'm not talking to you, Tim. I'm talking to the listener, the potential listener, and you too.
A listener.
Dude, I too.
Hopefully you get one.
No, my
mom's
listening.
A listener will be next year. Me waiting, listening to this to get pumped for next year's E3.
It'll just be Jamie listening to the podcast to get pumped again.
Yeah, man.
That's what I did this year.
I didn't even listen to it. I can't stand the sound of our voices.
Can't stand.
And on that note, bye.
Bye.